All right, and you're seeing the spreadsheet on the screen now.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. So we're picking up from where we left off last week. All right, so we did task 1, we did task 2. All right, so we're now at task 3. All right, so we're pretty much almost finished with the spreadsheet. All right, so let's go. So task 3, copy the data from reservation 2 to a new worksheet called reservation complete. All right, so again, we're going to do the copy feature. So we want to copy everything from this reservation task 2 to a new sheet called reservation complete. So we can just create a new sheet. We can rename it reservation complete. All right, I'm just going to copy everything. So remember what the last week, put the cursor up in the corner. Once everything is highlighted, you can right click and copy, or you can go home and copy. All right, go up to reservation complete, so the blank one.
Put the cursor.
Go again. Put the cursor right up in the
Put
top,
the cursor.
top left hand corner. See it here, the little box, the central box in the top left hand corner. Copy. So if the reservation complete, they'll put by the cursor back up in the same corner, and it will highlight all of the entire spreadsheet, and I can just paste. So now I have everything from one sheet, and I'm now on reservation complete. All right. So this is now where I'm going to finish up everything that I have left to do. All right. There are two things on this that might be difficult for you to do on a tablet or a phone, right? So if you have a laptop or a PC, I can show you how to do it, it won't be a problem. But if you have a tablet or a phone, it might be a problem. So I'm now going to pressure you with this part, right? Which is E, right here, so the extraction part, right? That's for D and E. So for today, we'll just have a look at A, B, C, and then we will look at task 4, all right? We're gonna leave D and E for next time when we have more devices and we can just move freely. I'm gonna want to create the problem. But some people get to it and some people don't get to it. All right? All right, so we do A already. So next one, on a reservation complete sheet, insert the column headings tax, discount, and amount to be paid. All right, so I'm going to insert tax, and amount to be paid. All right. Good. So now we have 3 columns that we know so some sort of a formula or function have to go in. So we look back to the sheet. All right. Insert the appropriate formula or function to complete the columns. All right. So we know that tax, we know that we got a figure for tax somewhere in this notes down here. So it said that it was 7.5%, 12.75%. Right? So we know that that is the tax. And the discount is that local visitors that have 4 or more members in their groups are entitled to 10% discount. Right? So let's focus on the tax part first. So we'll go back to the key because I have put in this information in the key first so that we can use it from there. So we have tax at 12.75% already. So we're going to keep referring back to this key. So instead of each time we have to type in 12.75%, we're just going to refer back to the key. All right. So the tax is going to be equal group costs times, and then you go to the key, and you click on the 12.575% and enter. So that's the tax. All right, and we'll do that again. The tax equal the group cost, which is everything that you're supposed to be paying, times is the asterisk. So if you're using a keyboard to be shift and 8, or if you're a keypad to the side, it's a little star, the asterisk, that is the times. So it's times, go back to the key and click on 12.75. All right. Now you might wonder, why not just type in the 12.75 each time? All right. So we want to centralize everything that we're doing, right? We don't want to keep repeating things that are repetitive. We don't want to keep doing it again. We just want to have one fixed set of information. So something like tax that is fixed, they're going to keep everybody going to pay the same tax. We want to keep that centralized, right? The reason being, let's say for example, this person is paying $6,500 worth of tax, right? When we look at the tax, we realize that it's 12.75. If we realize that we made a mistake and the tax is actually supposed to be 9%, I can easily go to the key here, so type in 9% and enter, and that would automatically change everything in my sheet, right? Because all of them is referring to the one place. So if there's a mistake or something that can be changed, all I need to do is change it on the key, and all of it will be effective in the spreadsheet, right? If I keep typing 12.75 each time in the formula, I realize that it's a mistake, then I'm going to have to go back over and retype the 12.75 in each cell each time. Get what I'm saying? So I don't want to have to keep repeating that. That's why I'm going to put some of these things fixed. So every time I can just refer to the cell, so in case I need to change it, I can just change it in the cell and it will change throughout the spreadsheet. All right, so it's 12.75. So naturally, you will go through and do this for all your reservations for the tax. All right. Next thing, you see if you look, if when you do a formula or function, and you see this come up here, so with a number sign, don't worry. All that means is that the column that you're in is too narrow to hold the data. So all you have to do is put your cursor up top here, so we want it to extend, hold on your mouse, and you can widen it out. Right? So when you see the asterisk, all it means is that it's too narrow. Go ahead.
Sure. Sometime when we do one of the formula themselves, I always see one green thing come up right here, so sir.
You know the
You
comma
could
here, so
answer if yes sir, like when we press it, it asks me if more ignore the error or can try to fix it, sir.
all right. Sometimes when the computer try to keep track of what you're doing. So it'll look for you to do something in a sequence. So if you do something in one cell, the cell A5, for the next cell below it, it's expected for cell A6. So if you have multiple cells in your formula, sometimes it not keep track of it properly. So it might give you that error. So what I tell you is that look over your error to make sure that is correct. It not really tell you say wrong. It doesn't tell you to check it and make sure say it good, correct. So once you're confident that is correct, then you can click ignore and take it off. All right?
Oh, alright, sir. I think something may I do wrong, sir.
No, man. Once you're confident the way you do is correct, you can ignore and take it off. All right. The discount now. Let's look at the discount. It says local visitors that have 4 or more members in their group are entitled to 10% discount, right? That means that everybody from Jamaica who have 4 or more persons in their group should get a discount of 10%, right? So we're going to put that function right here, so the only way to check it now, this is the overall figure what each group must pay, each group cost. So the only way to check it now is to find out how many persons have 5 or more in their groups from Jamaica, because it's a local visitors, right? So we need to make sure that they are from Jamaica. That is one. And we need to make sure that they have 5 or more persons in their group. That is another.
Four.
All right. 4 or more. Thank you. 4 or more. All right. So we're going to do an if statement. But the if statement has to have 2 criteria, because it has to be checking that the person is in from Jamaica and that there are 4 or more persons in their group. So the if statement after literally have 2 different criteria. So let me write it out and show you, and make sure you have a pen and a pencil and stand by to write it out at the same time. So we'll say if open bracket, right? Similar if statement like we did before. You know, somebody asked me this question last night. I'm going to tell a piece, but I forget to tell you the next piece of the formula that you should have put in. All right. So because we're having 2 different formula, we're checking if they're local and we're checking if they have 4 or more as visitors. We have to have 2 criteria. So I'm going to use an if and feature. So you put and at the front here. So you're saying if what is the local, if I'm looking for the region. So in this case, it's in E5. So if E5 equal to, and I put in double quotations, JA. If E5 equal JA, close bracket quotation. And the next criteria is if number of visitors greater than or equal to 4, close back the bracket, then we can calculate the discount. So the discount now is going to be based on the group cost. So it's going to be the group cost, which is P5 times the key and the discount. All right? Never go over it. No worry yourself. Never go over it. All right? So these are the discount. The group cost times the 7.5%, 0.25%. So this is if them get the discount. If them don't get the discount, then they will pay, then they will get 0 for the discount. Let me look at this and make sure it's correct. I'll go and do it a couple times to make sure that you get it over. All right. Sure, something is wrong. That's five. Hold on, something wrong with it. Let me just get it right and we can show you. One minute. Don't move. Right? If adding if E5 and JA and L5 greater than or equal to 4, then P5 times that. Is that I'm supposed to work like I don't know. All right. All right. 1 second. Don't move. Because sometimes Excel or something is I'm very certain that is correct. Sometimes I have to consult Google to make sure that we know what we're doing. Oh, okay. I see what I did wrong. Now let me have these brackets version. Still can't. All right. So this is a good example. Let me show you two things that went wrong a while ago. All right, ready? So this is a formula that I had. I'm gonna put in two brackets right here, so that wasn't supposed to be there, but that's another issue, right? Right here, so I said P5 times the key here, so remember was 7.25%, right? Times P5. This is P5, and then the 7.25 was around here, so which is fine. Let me show you how we realize that there was an error. And in doing Excel, sometimes you have to do this, because sometimes you have to look at the result to realize that the answer cannot be correct. Because look at this. If my group cost is 51,000, if this person is getting the percent, you realize that this is 369,000, something, something, something. So there's no way that this answer could be correct, right? A lot of times when I realize that students bring SBAs, once I put in something and it look close to what they have, and then get an answer, they don't look and see if the answer is correct or even makes sense. They just say yes and get an answer and then continue working, right? Now, if I were marking this right away, I look at this answer and I realize that this answer cannot be correct, because 7.25% of 51,000 can be changed to 69,000. So right away, I would have realized that something is correct here. So have to have that presence of mind as well. When you're doing some of these formulas, the first one you do, look at it and make sure that it makes sense, right? So if it's, in this case, we're doing 7% of 51,000, in your head, you're supposed to have an idea of what 7% of 51,000 is, right? If you know, say 10% of 51,000 is 5,000 or something like that. So 7% is supposed to be 3,000 and enough dollars, something like that, right? So it's supposed to be 3,000 or something like that. So there was no way it would have been 3,000, probably 700 or 3,600 and enough, something like that. So there's no way this could be correct, right? So right away, we can look at my figure. This figure is correct, and I can look at the percent around here. So right away, when I look at the percent here, so I can tell that something is wrong with this, because this is 7.25. This is not 7.25%. So right away, that will give me an entirely different figure. You get what I say? Because I'm going to leave out the percent. So you see a simple mistake like that could have created a whole heap of other problems going forward. Because if we never pick up on that, I would have complete that spreadsheet and copy that spreadsheet to Word and move on with all of those bad figures, right? So you, again, I said to you, you have to have the presence of mind to look over these things to make sure that it makes sense. All right, so I'm going to put on the 7.25 now. So because this is reading from here, so it will automatically correct on the spreadsheet now. So once we press enter, go back over. So we see now this is more correct. This is $3,697. this is far more correct, right? And next thing you have to look for this. Remember that in this formula, you are looking for two criteria. You are looking for the region equal to JA, and you're looking for the number of visitors greater than or equal to 4. So you have to look and make sure that this person met all of those criteria. So I have to make sure that this person that I have in blue came from JA. Yes, they came from JA. If there are 5 or more persons in the criteria for the number of visitors, yes, they did, right? So looking down at this now, we have to recognize that not everybody is going to get a discount. It's only the persons who satisfy the 2 criteria going to get a discount. Only the persons that are from Jamaica will get the discount, and they have to have 4 or more children. The and is important. It's not an or, you know. So it's not if they come from Jamaica or they have 4 or more children. They have to get the 2 of them correctly. Have to be from Jamaica and they have to have 2 or more children. So right away, if I look through this, I can see that this Janet here, so that person wouldn't get it because even though they are from Jamaica, they don't have 4 or more children. See that? Look at Jake. Jake is from Jamaica and he does have 4 or more children. He have 4, right? So right away looking at this, we're supposed to, when we finish, we're supposed to have about 5 or 6 persons getting the discount. All right. So when you finish looking through your one, you should see about 5 or 6 persons getting the discount. Right? So I'm going to do it again just to make sure that you are getting it. Ready again? Make sure you are right down some of them something, you know. It's an equal if. And because we said that we're working with 2 criteria, so we're working with that and because we have 2 things that must be true together. So, and open bracket, right? So now look at the cell that we're in, you know, we're in row 7, right? So don't get it mixed up. So after the and, I'm going to check the first criteria. So I'm going to say if the region here, so is equal to open quotation, JA close quotation, that is 1, comma, what's the next criteria? The next criteria that I'm looking for is the number of visitors. So if the number of visitors is greater than or equal to 4, comma, right? So those are the 2 criteria. So now we finish with this part. So now we can say, can close back that bracket. So now we can say the formula part now. So now we can say group cost times, go to your sheet, your key, where so, time to take the 7.25%, right? And that we check for those who get the discount. They put a final comma now to those who don't get the discount. So those who don't get the discount now, they get 0. 0 meaning they don't get any discount, right? If we put 10 here, so instead of 0, if we put 10, it means that those who don't get the discount would get $10 discount at least. But I don't want them to get any discount at all, right? If there was a next formula, if you never get 10% and everybody else was getting 2%, then I could put a next formula right here, so to say group cost times 2%. You understand? But in this case, I'm going to say, they would not get in the discount, they never get any other alternative. So they just end up with 0 as their discount and enter. All right. So if you look at this now, you see the person gets 0. This is correct, you know, because this means that the person didn't meet the criteria. So first of all, they weren't from Jamaica and they didn't have the 4 or more children. So right that way, they would get 0. See that? Let's do one more. We'll go all the way down the bottom. Let's do the very last one, just to make sure that's covered. Ready? Again, so equal if and open bracket. All right? Then we put in the and because we're checking 2 criteria. Remember with the room type, we never use the and because we're only checking 1 thing for that one. For this one, we're checking 2. All right. So we say open bracket, and we say if the region, these are the region column, so region equal quotation now JA close quotation. That is one criteria. The next criteria is for the number of visitors, total number of visitors. So if that one greater than or equal to 4, close brackets. I will finish with that. All right. So I'm going to type out this in Word so I can understand it better a little bit. So the formula now is going to be total group cost times key 7.25%. Otherwise, you get 0 discounts and enter. All right. So this person gets 0. So let's look at why they get 0. This person is from Jamaica, so they meet the Jamaica part. But go ahead. What again?
I have 6 or more children.
Then there are 4 or more
Then,
children.
sir.
There are 3, so that's why they're going to get the discount right here. So good. All right. So let me just finish this part now, and then we write out the formula so that you can see properly. All right. So yeah. Right away, we can see that 1, 2, 4 person alone got the discounts. All right. This is somebody else here. So Jake's supposed to get it to while Jake gonna get it. All right. So why Jake gonna get it? Something I have to check through this something. When a computer about something I have to make sure it's correct. If you don't get it right, it will continuously be about bad information. So let's just look at I say one person you're supposed to get it. This person right here. So because them have region for JA and them have 4 for that. For them total, right? So why don't we get the discount? L12. L12 for JA. L12 greater than 4. All right. I just realize why they don't get it. Yeah.
2 children alone in there, sir.
Eh? Yes, sir?
2 children alone in there and a 4. And a 4, sir, a 2.
No, man, a two. Yeah, man, a 4 total. 4 to actually.
Oh, okay, sir.
Yeah. But me see why. I'm going to show you what happened in a second. All right. You see the error come up here, so I want to look at it closely because this is an error where it's a common error. I'm never sure. It's not nothing wrong with the formula, you know. It's what you call a typographical error. Sometimes when I type fast, we tend to do some little things. We have to show off the computer. Let me show you what happened here. See, this person is JA and them are 4 or more. Get that? But look here, you see in the JA box, when I look at this closely because if you miss this, you miss it. You see in the JA box, when this person type JA here, so then type an extra space beside it. So they type JA and then they press the space bar. So when the computer look for the computer is looking for JA only. But this person type JA and then put an extra space beside it. You're gonna ask yourself, how many notes them have an extra space beside it? All right. You see, if I click the JA here, so if I click up here, so beside it, you can see the extra space beside it. You see the space beside it? You see the
Yes,
extra
sir.
space here, so that's the problem. So because what happens is that the person that types so fast that them type JA and then press space accidentally and then press enter. And the computer is reading this as JA with a space. So the only way for the formula to pick it up is to take out the space. So let me take out the space now. So see the money come up now. See that? Alright, so we have to practice. So when we have type, we have to make sure say when I get caught up, because you see at the same thing happens for enough of them. So the EU have the space on it. So if I can double click on each of them going down, we can see that. So we can backspace it and enter, backspace it, enter. All right, and you hear me say this person made a mistake or this person. I'm me typing, so I have to take responsibility. So I don't know why I keep on saying this person. I can't even me typing. All right. So I'm not supposed to have that problem again. All right. You see, when it comes to them name here and things like this, they don't matter. Them something here. But you see, things like this, we have to use back in our formula, we have to look for the exact something we want, it matters for these ones. So for like the other one, them, credit card and first name, last name, Mr. and Mrs., it don't really matter for those. But anything we have to use back in our formula, our function, it matters for those. All right, so now we have it fixed. Yeah, that works. Good. So now we have it fixed. All right, so this is 6 or 7 people, you know. All right, next problem now is that I realize that a lot of people, when they submitted the work, they submit their numbers looking like this, right? And we keep on reminding you, it have to have the currency, if it's money, it have to have the currency on it. Don't forget that, all right? So we can just block all of this information here, so. And I can go to up top. When I'm on home, I can go up top here, so, look for the dollar sign, and I can change it to currency. All right? Or you can right click, format cell, and this can give me some more options. We can change the date and time, percent, whatever the case is. So there's currency, and that is okay. All right. Now for this formula we just put in, I want to understand it properly. I don't want to mix it up because students have a tendency. So once they start get something wrong, then get discouraged and then disappear and stop with the work. So I don't want them to get discouraged and I try to make sure someone get this properly. So we're using the AND function, open bracket, and I will say, well, the first part, we'll say the region is equal to JA, right? This is in double quotation because it's text. If I were saying if the region is equal to 5, we could have put the 5 by itself. Because it's text, letters, it has to go in a double quotation like that. All right? So that's the first part of the criteria. The second part is if the group total greater than or equal to 4. All right? So that is one part of it. Comma, they will put in the formula now. So when I say, what do you call it? Group total, what do you call it? or total number of visitors, sorry. Then group cost times 7.25%. What else? 7.25%. Otherwise, then we get 0. Right? So these are the criteria. Huh?
The G, sir.
I get group. Oh. Yeah,
Group cost, yes,
that's
sir.
right. So if to read this are one criteria, right? Oh, it's difficult. All right, so this is one criteria. So put that in one different color. This is one second criteria. So this goes in a different color. Just so that you can separate it visually. All right? And then this is if it's true. So the formula if it's true. And then this is if it's false. All right? Bear in mind, we know this is going to be a little bit different from what you're used to, right? And you're used to some of the simpler stuff and whatever the case. But bear in mind, an exam we are prepared for, right? We're prepared for external exams. We're going to see you going to college and possibly see you getting a job, whether it's a job at IMX or courts or a bank or wherever the case is, we are prepared for the job world. And in reality, when you go to the job world, these are the problems that the supervisor or your manager are going to get us to solve. And they come and say, we want a spreadsheet and we want to do this, this, and this, right? And the manager now goes down and explain to you and point out the errors and show you piece by piece. And the manager expects if you look on your resume and you see you have information technology, it means that you're supposed to be able to do these things, right? So I try to prepare them mentally and go to some of the hints mentally how to go about doing these things. So when you have to solve your problems, sometimes you have to look on the basic things. Like just I'm sure you if you have a space beside JA, that can be a problem because I use this in our formula. So sometimes we have to look on that. Sometimes we have to look at is the result correct? Because if we look on the correct, then it means that something is wrong. We have to look on the 7.25% and things like that. Right? You said, and the reality is that the people out there, the persons out there who can solve these problems mentally, those persons are in demand. If you hear people are telling every day it's IT in demand and people know computer is in demand, it's a reality. If you are able to solve these problems mentally, and if you are able to solve these problems on the computer, on a spreadsheet or whatever the case is, these are the type of people the workforce need, and these are the type of people that are getting employed quickly, and these are the type of people that are getting well paid out there, and they will progress quickly because they might get well paid, right? So you see, the sooner as young people, the sooner they can take on the mind frame out of this easy work type of mentality and start challenging yourself, the easier some of these things will become to you, right? Challenge yourself. But no, say you don't know this, and you know that you don't know it, but you know what the greatest one? When you go and you sit down and you try it and you get it, that's going to be the greatest thing for you because you overcome something where a few minutes ago or a few hours ago you didn't know how to do. And after this, somebody who I know it now, they have to come to you for you show them. You get what I said? Already in the group, in this group that you guys are in, you see a lot of students already women know so them are gonna be a problem because them already start with the word for excuses. Right? People tell me say they don't even try from last week Thursday. We do the class. We video the class. I'm gonna send the video in the group and everything. So people can see that them one time and watch. And up to this morning, people are text me and say, oh, them kind of busy and they never get to do anything at all. To me, that is unacceptable. If you have a piece of work for you, spend an hour or two anytime over the weekend and you could get it done. Instead of coming now telling me this type of excuse because you're too busy. So when you say you are too busy, you know, we are implying that you are implying that I don't have anything to do. That's why I can still not make these classes because I don't have nothing to do. But you are so busy that you don't have the time to attend the class or to watch the video for the class. Bear in mind, you know, and you will see this for yourself. As the school year extends and go on, you will realize that the people who make the most excuses are the people who you're going to see start falling behind. The people used to get up every day and have some of these excuses and love one, this and one, that, and want extension and can't do this and can't do that. These are the people who are going to get left behind. So as young people, you have to assess this for yourself. How you going to manage this? Will you fall in that category of people who continuously being left behind, or will you be one of those problem solvers who go out there and get it done and move on with life? These are some of the things we have to ask ourselves as young people, because the world we are going on is a real world. And I understand so some of you have situations and stuff like that, but the reality is that the world that you're going into, they don't care about your situation, you know. And then they care about the problems and the struggles that you have. If you go out there to look at a job right now, and the boss say more 5 CXD subjects, you can't go there with 3 CXD subjects and 2 really good excuses. The boss now I hear an excuse. You might go run your time office because I want 5 to somebody with 5 CXD subjects or more. You understand? So the people who have what the boss wants and they might get the job. Right? So don't practice for this word for excuse when you don't have what you want. If you know so that is what society wants, 5 CXD or more, make sure you have 5 CXD or more. Right? If you are the type of person who love make excuse, prepare your life for disappointment because you're going to be disappointed. I guarantee you that. All right, let's move on. Amount to be paid. So the amount to be paid now will be simple for you. All right? Who can tell me the formula for check the amount to be paid? That this should be straightforward.
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
sir.
Subtract the group cost and the discount.
Subtract the group cost from the discount. You sure so you want to say?
No, sir, subtract the discount from the group cost, sir.
All right, but one more something that I told. What you gonna do with the tax? How much you tax?
Oh, sir, you add the tax.
Yeah, add the tax. Good. So we can say it's a just a straight formula, nothing complicated. So we can just say group cost plus tax minus discount. Enter. All right, so this person will pay 53,805. All right, so this is what your sheet should look like at this stage. Right, so you're supposed to have the amount to be paid, the discount, tax, group cost, children cost, and adult cost at this stage. You're not supposed to have anything else outside of this. Make sure that your figures look realistic. Right. One of the things yesterday, when I was checking through some person's own, I could realize just by looking at it, because I saw somebody with $7,000 here, so when they have 2 children. So looking at this right away, I knew that this person didn't multiply the cost by the children. I'll show you what they never do. Then they do the VLOOKUP, but they never put on this part on it. Right? The time J5, because the J5 are going to be the times the number of arrows. So without this, you're going to get only the cost for the room, only. Right? Yeah, if for one person. But when you put on the number of adults, you get the full cost for all adults. Right? So the person they just have 15,000 even though they will have 3 adults, right? Which is only for one person, what can't work. So they're gonna need to multiply the figure, the room cost, times the number of adults to get the full cost. Right? So these are some other things. Make sure you connect with these things, right? So if you have this, I'm gonna stretch out this a little bit to show you. If you have this sheet up to this point, let me show you what and what you will get marks for. Starting up top, you get marks for the heading, right? Remember I said the heading is supposed to be American Center up at the top and a different font style. So you would get marks for this. You get marks for inserting the logo into the spreadsheet. You get marks for that. You get marks for putting in the entire 30 set of data. So I better if you make sure it says what 30 you have, right? Because sometimes we don't look at it and we just assume that 30. Can I go from 4 to 34? If you go from 4 to 34, it must mean that 30. Just make sure that is 30, right? You will get marks for the formulas and the functions that you put in, right? Already, most of the people are trying to cheat. Remember the last week class, but show some people that don't just go in and type in the something. When you're going and just type, like for this one, the person just go in and then just type deluxe suite, right? So even though I can look at it here, so and it look like deluxe suite, like this one, bear in mind, now just look on it, right? I'm going to go to the formula sheet. The formula sheet is going to show me that the person never type it in. The person never type in the formula, they want to type in the information, right? And they wouldn't get the mark. So you need to make sure that you put in the formula for each of them. Because I'm going to know, never know, make a look on it and never know. And you're going to lose the marks, right? So you will get marks for using the sum function for the visitor total number of visitors. You get marks for the room type using the if statement for the room type. And this if statement is just one criteria, as you can see here, so the diagram and you get marks for the VLOOKUP for the adult cost and the VLOOKUP for the children cost. You get marks for this simple function here, so for the equal sum. You get marks for the formula here and the if statement here, so you definitely get marks for this one. And this is a simple formula, you get marks. So you get marks for all of these here, so you have to make sure so you do all of them. So if you try to cheat it and just type in the number, you're going to have a pretty spreadsheet that have absolutely no mark at all. You're going to have somebody going to submit something to me that look like this, and look like everything perfect. But by the time I look through the formulas, I realize that there are no formulas, and you get 0 marks. And you're going to ask me, sir, how come I feel the SBA to do the work? No, you know, follow instruction. Yeah.
Sir, you can go over the amount to be paid again, sir. Never see it good, sir.
This one, amount to be paid.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we say the amount to be paid is straightforward because we have 4 figures I work with. We have the group cost, the tax, and the discount. So we just add the group cost and the tax and minus the discount. So maybe just say group cost plus tax plus, minus the discount. All right? You could have do it a number of different ways. You could have said equal sum, open bracket, the group cost and the tax, and you add those, close bracket, hold on, and you minus the discount after. So you could have do either way. Go ahead.
That's it, sir. And that maybe that's it, sir, with the sum, but they never die here, sir.
Oh, no, I never hear you. Yeah, so you could have done like that too. And you just minus the discount outside of the bracket. Right? So this is up to you. Either way, I'm good with it. So you get marks for doing it like this, I get the marks for doing it like this as well. All right, so this will bring us to this part of the sheet now. So we'll finish with this. So let's see how quickly I move through it. All right, next part of our SBA now is on a separate sheet, create a table with the heading visitor statistics. Right? So it will ask you to put in this information into a new spreadsheet, this kind of setup, right? So I went ahead and I did that as well. And I call it, supposed to mean visitor statistic. Visitor statistics. Good. So this should be it. This is what you're supposed to have. All right? So this now is asking for the number of European bookings. So what this wants is the number of people who come from Europe. Number of people come from North America, South America, Jamaica, It wants the number of adults, number of children, total number of visitors, and the average day stayed. Alright, so can we start with some of the easier one? Who can tell me how they would do this one? Average day stayed.
Sir, you wanna
So you have to create a formula.
sir, you wanna put
Yeah,
in
man, you create a
equal
function. Which one?
average, sir.
Equal.
Average.
Then what?
Uh,
You're on the right track. So average DST. So all I need to do now is just find where the DST are. So equal average open bracket, and then you just go to the reservation complete sheet, because this is the last one over there work on. I will just look for the days. All right, so the days, number of nights, right? I will highlight all of it. So the highlight for this one, I think you can see that it's kind of small.
sir, zoom it in.
Yeah. All right, so for this one, let me say equal average open bracket, and then go to reservation complete sheet. I'm going to use all of this information here. So we'll just disappear saying. So we'll just highlight from the very first one, go down to, so you go from F5 all the way down to F34. And enter, and that will give you the average number of days. So this attempt is 6. The average person stayed 6 days at the hotel. That's what that is telling me right there. So get that?
So do it again.
Do it again.
Sir, you wanna put the close bracket, sir.
Equal average open bracket. Equal average open bracket. Go to the reservation complete sheet. They are looking for number of nights. This is how we are trying to find the average of all of these numbers. So you just start with the first one, starting at F5, hold on your mouse. I can just type it in F5, colon, go down to F34. So see it here? F5 to F34. All right? And you just enter, and got here the number of the stayed. All right? How about this one?
Okay, sir.
Total number of visitors.
Equal sign, sir.
Equal what?
At the equal sign.
Mm-hmm.
Then you put sum, sir.
Sum, open bracket,
Open
all
bracket
right.
with the
Number of
total number.
visitors.
Yes, sir.
And then you do it for which one?
You down do from L5 to L34.
Yes, good. Yeah, man, that's exactly it. Good. Good job. So you see that the total number of visitors, 118. Total number of adults, I see a procedure. You just have to do it for the number of adults. And for the number of children, you do the same thing. Equal sum over, and then the number of children. Good? All right, then 4 year now. We'll start with the EU one. So we are say we need to find how many persons from this list still are from Europe. Right? Ready? So somebody background have some word upon that. Just turn off your mic to the ready for talk, yeah? So we say equal, and for this one we're going to use a function called count if. Count if is going to count whatever, count the occurrence of anything within the spreadsheet. It's going to count how many times any specific thing occurred within the spreadsheet. To count if.
Sir.
Mm-hmm.
it would have be the second form to count, sir. The count
Right.
family.
So kind of count how many time, how much cells are
How much
filled or something like that. So the
yes,
count
sir, how
if
much
is more specific. The count if I'll be count like how much time, how much boys are in a class out of a list or how much girls or something like that. So in this case, the statistical notation come down here, so this is the hint. So it's saying that you have to have the region and then the criteria, sorry, the range and then the criteria. The range is where you're looking, the criteria is what you're looking for. So in this case, the range is going to be all of this from E5 to E34, that is the range. And then comma, what I'm looking for, I want to look for all EU. But remember, I'm telling you, every time I look for something and it's in text, it has to go in a double quotation, open and close quotation. So this is saying we are count if we are counting this range and we're looking for everything that is EU, right? Again, remember, this will only work if what you have typed here so is exact. So just like I'm going to show you before with the JA, so that apart, this is the next situation where you book up on an error if you have spaces beside the EU, right? So this will only work for exact the EU. If you have space beside the EU, then here so it won't pick it up. So again, make sure you go through it and make sure that these don't have any space, right? So in this case, when I press enter now, I see that I have 6 persons from EU, right? Let me do another one. Let me do the Jamaica one. Equal, count if, open bracket, the range, and then the criteria. So the range, same range, all of the region from E5 to E34, comma, and know what we're looking for. So we're looking for JA, close brackets, close quotation, and close bracket, and enter. 11 people from Jamaica, just to the North America now. All right, and finally, for country, open market, South America. Good. So these are the numbers. And if you're in a business, right, in a work environment, right, there are some little checks you can do sometimes to make sure that what you have is correct. Because remember that how many persons are we supposed to have in the sheet altogether? Only
Sir,
person, no, hold on, no, that was the answer. How much reservation we have in this sheet?
Oh, 30.
30 reservation. Good. So I mean that if you add all 4 of them here together, we're supposed to get back 30, that's all. So if it's an equal sum, add all 4 of these, we're supposed to get back 30. So this is one of the check you can make sure for say if you didn't miss anything. So you say if you do this and you see 29, it means you miss. It means that some one of them, some here have space beside them, right? So this is just a verification check. You can do this. If you have 30, it means you're good. If you have 29 or less than 30, it means that either you only put in 30 reservation here so, or it means that one of them cell here have space beside it, but not supposed to have space. All right? So these are just some of the things you kind of check that you have everything. Good? Once that finish, what is missing? What is missing from here? So, what is missing? What is missing from here? So, once that finish, what is missing? What is missing from here? So, once that finish, what is missing? What is missing from here? So, what is missing? What is missing from here? So, once that finish, what is missing? What is missing from here? So, once that finish, what is missing? What is missing from here? So, once that finish, what is missing? What is missing from here? So, once that finish, what is missing? What is missing from here? So, once that finish, what is missing? What is missing from here? So, once that finish, what is missing? What is missing from here? So, once that finish, what is missing? What is missing from here? So, once that finish, what is missing? What is missing from here? So, once that finish, what is missing? What is missing from here? So, once that finish, what is missing? What is missing from here? So, once that finish, what is missing? What is missing from here? So, once that finish, what is missing? What is missing from here? So, once that finish, what is missing? What is missing from Look on it and tell me what it's saying.
So yeah, go up on the table.
No, man, look on the table. Write your sonata. Don't look at this and tell me what it's saying. Why don't you see it? Remember, I tell you last week, every sheet supposed to have a heading. Remember? Every sheet supposed to have a heading. That means I have to copy this heading and bring it over. All right? In this case, you see, because the width of this isn't as wide as a heading, you can bring in the heading. So the heading have to be so wide. You can make a heading start from the edge of the something here. So you have to make the heading so wide. Go ahead.
So the logo have to depend on every one of
All of the
the
sheet
sheets,
them. Yeah. Okay, you want to look professional, though? Yeah. So when you see the sheet look like that now, you know, say, all right. And again, this is one of the sheet that people always try cheat. So remember, so when I go here, so now, even though I see the numbers here, so the first thing I go do, I go check the formula them. So you see, if you just go here, so now look on it and type in the number them and think you get to it, then the combination, then I realize you type it in. Because I need to see the formula then yourself when you finish. All right? So don't try to cheat, because I never know. So I make it know. Good. So when you try to see now, then you're upon the final stretch to finish in the estimation. All right. So we did this. So C, create a pie chart to compare the regions by name and the amount of visitors received for the hotel. Create a pie chart, all right, to compare the regions, all right, by name and the total number of visitors received for the hotel. That's going to be a problem. All right. Right. So what you can ask is that it wants us to create a chart, you see, where it's going to show Jamaica and the number of reservations for Jamaica, North America, the number of reservations for North America, which luckily for us, we have all that information right here so already. Because this is showing us for each region and the total number of reservations for each region, right? So right now we can just make this pie chart from this. So we can just block this, right? Make sure you block, you see if you just block the number alone, the pie chart going to come up without without the headings in it. So you have to make sure so you block the headings and the numbers. Right? Then you go to insert pie and pick one of them. But just have to use this one because it looks like a bit better to me. So we'll pick the pie chart. So this is how my pie chart will look like. Right? So let's say each color here so representing a slice of the pie. All right. For the people who are using tablets, if you use a tablet or the cell phones, it might get a little bit tricky to modify it after this. You can, but you have to mess over with it a little bit. But have to help you with it a little bit. But for those who are using a laptop or so, you're supposed to can bring through this in a second. Right? So for if you use a tablet, I will understand if you reach here some book. So we will help you with this part forward, or we will coming back to school, we can fix up these for outstanding pieces. All right. So for your chart here, so now the chart need a title. The chart have to have a title up at the top. All right. So you go to design, select the chart, click on the chart, go to design, and you're going to see some options like this right here. So, all right. You can click the little arrow and select one of the options that have a title. So you look at it and see a little mini image with the title up at the top. Anyone who have a title up at the top, use this one. So this one have a title up at the top, and it have the percent and the legend to the side as well. So we can use this one, right? And then you make up a title. So be creative with the title. So you want to say Sorry. I tried comparing number of visitors from each region. I chart compare number of visitors from each region or something like that. All right, be creative, put in a decent sensible heading here, so.
Sir, where
should
click
have
to
a
find
problem.
it? Sir.
You must click to find one.
Oh, you click to get the heading part, sir. Never see that part there.
The heading?
Yes, sir. Like it show the, not the heading, the percentage part.
Okay, so let's say I click the chart, then we go to design, and then where it says chart layout, I'm going to press the arrow and we select one. We'll have the type. So you will see the title up at the top right here. So each of them. Some of them don't have it like this, but this one have it. So we'll just select that one. Alright? And then we'll put in the chart title. And that's finished. So you get marks. You get marks for the heading here, so again, you get marks for the formulas, the function that you're using here. So you get marks for creating the pie chart, and you get a separate set of marks for inserting a proper chart title. All right, you get a separate set of marks just for the title, different from the chart. So if you put in your chart and make sure you have a proper title as well, and you're good with that. So that's a one set of marks right this one. Right? You that will make this SBA too easy. And let's see if you like this SBA too easy. Okay. Make it a little bit harder. All right. Finally, now, so I'm not going to do this class. I'm going to save one last class, and the next class I'm going to do it from the tablet because I want to make sure that you can understand this. So for the D, for the pivot table, and to do the sort and the extraction, let us see if you are next time. But for this class, what we just covered, we cover task 3, and we did A, B, and C completed for task 3. And for task 4, we did A, B, C again completed. So A, B, C for task 3, A, B, C for task 4 completed. We'll just do that one. All right. You have any question? Okay, to this part what we have so far. So we're supposed to do this, and then about Friday. Friday we can have our next class in the morning, and we can show you how to do the other pieces, and we can finish with spreadsheet. So that one whole entire piece finish out of the SBA already. All right.
Okay.
So you think you have enough information where you can go ahead and start doing what you're supposed to be doing for this part?
Yes, sir.
All right, wonderful. So just go ahead, start doing what you're doing. Within an hour or two, I will post back the video inside the video recording so you can look at it if you need it. And as usual, you can contact me directly, you can WhatsApp me if you need any assistance. All right?
Okay,
All right,
sir.
everybody good? All right, so don't move it. Let me just stop this recording first. There, good? All right.